Hey everyone, Tim Schofield here. And this year, Google has released a new Chromecast, which brings a lot of changes, including their new Google TV. And this is the first Chromecast that will include a remote. And I've actually been a huge fan of Chromecasts in the past. I've used every single version of them. I will even compare it to the Chromecast Ultra, which has been the latest up to date. I did buy this Chromecast. Google has priced it at $50. However, Google has also sent me their Nest Audio to check out, so a future video coming very soon on their new smart speaker. Anyways, let's see what comes in the box of the new Chromecast. Check out the updated design and, of course, the new remote. Run through the setup process and talk about all of the new features. Let's get started. So here is the new Chromecast with Google TV. It does support up to 4K HDR content at 60 frames a second. So let's go ahead and open it on up and check out what comes inside. First up, standard getting started guide and 2 AAA batteries for the remote. And then you also have your power brick, which is USB Type A, and your power cable, which is USB Type A to Type C. Next up is the remote. Taking it out comes in this little cloth, and it does come in multiple colors. I actually got the white color. As a quick close-up, a couple shortcut buttons for YouTube and Netflix, power button, the exit button, home, mute, your Google Assistant because there is a microphone built in, and you do have your controls up towards the top. Along the right side are volume rockers, and you can take off this back plate to add in the batteries. And onto the actual Chromecast, taking it out of this cloth. Here it is. You can tell, very oval shape. Again, this is the white color. I really don't care what the color or honestly even the design is, as long as it doesn't stick out too much out of my TV, because it is in the back of the TV. You'll see it does have the HDMI connection, and on this side there is a USB-C slot. There is a reset button and status light on the back, and also worth noting, there is no magnet actually to connect it to the cable, and the reason I mention that is because that is what the Chromecast Ultra had. It had a magnet to connect it to it, so it's just going to kind of hang there off the TV, which again, I'm totally fine with because it's in the back of the TV and I don't even see it. So that's everything in the box. I've got the batteries put in, showing a status indicator light down at the bottom of the remote. So let's go ahead and run through the setup process of the new Chromecast. Plugging it in for the first time, I'm using my monitor for convenience sake, and you'll notice in the upper right-hand corner, it is enabling HDR. Because this monitor does support HDR, and the TV I'm going to plug it in also does. Using the handy remote, let's run through the setup process, and I'm going to talk about anything that's noteworthy, including this. Setup with the Google Home app. It gives you a QR code and even a setup code. You can use your remote to set up the Chromecast. However, we're going to use the Google Home app because it is much easier and faster. And right away up at the top, hit Set Up Chromecast. Since it will scan a QR code, it needs camera permissions. Let's activate that. And just go over to our QR code. It said it already scanned. That was instant, actually. So now it's going to run through the setup process already. It says connecting. While our update's installed, we can select different services and apps we would like installed on our TV. The top 4 are already installed. You can just go ahead and run through and find all the different ones that you might have accounts on or ones that you would like installed on your Chromecast. You have 2 options for the ambient mode. You can use Google Photos or select Art Gallery. Once you do that, you can have feature photos, fine art, earth and space, street art, or captured on pixel. Something nice about the remote is that you can use your voice or just the remote itself to control power and volume on your TV. Next, it's going to run through and install all of the different apps that you selected during the startup. All right, Chromecast with Google TV is ready. Let's check out the user interface. So right away, there's a For You tab with some different suggestions. I went down and it is bringing up. All right, for some reason it went to the lock screen, but here's a good look at that for those of you interested in seeing it. All right, for some reason it went to the lock screen, but we are back. So a For You page showing off some different suggestions, giving you your apps trending on Google to give you suggestions for maybe movies or TV shows to watch. If we go up to the top, you can categorize them from movies to shows, and then a full list of all of the different apps that you can install or use. I don't have all of these installed, so if I do select on one that isn't installed, it will prompt me to actually install it. If we do go into the library, it is your Google library. Now, if we go all the way to the right, you'll see you can go to your account. There's settings, gives you some lock screen information. For some reason, it just reset again like this. All right, brought us back to the home screen. I'm not sure why it keeps doing that. A little unfortunate, but let's dive into settings and take a look at what some of our options are. Obviously, network, account, some privacy settings. If we go into display and sound, you can enable HDMI CEC. You can match content, dynamic range. Advanced display settings is allow game mode, and you can change the resolution on the fly and the hertz that it is at, whether you want 4K 30 hertz, 1080p 60 hertz. And at the bottom, advanced sound settings. You can go automatic, never, or manual, and choose some of the various formats down at the bottom if you have them supported. You have various app settings such as permissions. Going down to system, this looks fairly similar to Android overall. You can choose the keyboard, storage, ambient mode, so you can customize again with photos, experimental, weather, showing weather in your area, energy saver, you can choose how long it is until your display turns off, and cast, so let others control your cast media, always while casting or never. Finally, in remotes and accessories, you can pair more to it, and you'll see the Chromecast remote actually has a software update, so let's go ahead and apply that. Now we can also go over to search and select it, and once we do that, it gives suggestions for things you can say to the Google Assistant. Let's find something to watch, or hold the assistant button down to talk. So let's try that. What's the weather like right now? And the voice results were fairly instant,
Today,
giving you voice feedback once it finds the answer. So I do want to do a quick speed test here, just running through a couple apps. So pressing the YouTube button opens up YouTube right away. Let's switch on over to Netflix, gives you options for sign in. And then let's go back home and go ahead and go over to Spotify, and opening up Spotify, loads it on up right away, gives you the option to log in as someone, and there we go. Let's go back home. Again, jumping back into Netflix real quick, back into the YouTube button. It seems to be fairly snappy overall. Now, if I do go into Netflix and I press the bottom right button on the remote, it should exit like I thought. It apparently does not. And for the last test, let's do a voice search, open YouTube, and search for Tim Schofield videos. And there we go. So that seemed to work. Again, the Google Assistant, in my opinion, is probably the best voice assistant out there. So overall, that is everything I wanted to talk about for now with the new Google TV and the new Chromecast at $50. Seems like a fairly good deal. Again, I've been a big fan of the Chromecast. It's so great being able to be on iOS or Android and just cast things to TVs or monitors, etc. And there we go.
Tim Schofield
just
here.
went and let's go ahead and pause that because it's fairly loud. But again, hope you enjoyed the video on the new Chromecast. Drop a comment, let me know what you think. And as always, guys, thanks for watching.